What to do if you're married, but lonely? She Camden Faza advice. You don't have to be alone to feel lonely. While being in a committed relationship might seem like the solution to the feeling of loneliness, it is possible to be married, but lonely. Loneliness is a subjective state of mind in which people desire more social contact, but feel disconnected or isolated from other people. It's more about how you feel about your connectedness to others. If you've ever felt lonely in a crowd, you can appreciate that being surrounded by other people isn't necessarily a cure for feelings of isolation. You might be spending time with your spouse, but this doesn't mean that you can't feel lonely even in their presence. These feelings can lead you to feel empty, unwanted, or misunderstood by your significant other. According to a 2018 survey by the AARP, being married but lonely is far from uncommon. Nearly 33% of married people over the age of 45 reported feeling lonely. This article discusses why people are sometimes married, but lonely, as well as some of the steps you can take to combat feelings of loneliness in your marriage. Signs of being married, but lonely. Living with another person isn't a cure for loneliness. It is your feelings of being connected to your spouse that keep you from feeling isolated and alone in your relationship. Some of the signs that you might be feeling lonely in your marriage include: you feel lonely, even when you're together. It feels like there is a separation between you that you don't know how to fix. You don't talk to each other. Perhaps you feel like your spouse isn't interested in what you say. Or maybe you just don't feel like telling them about the ins and outs of your day. In either case, you're not communicating, and it's leading to feelings of isolation and disappointment. Point 2. You find reasons to avoid your spouse. This might involve staying at work late, finding things to stay busy away from your partner, or simply scrolling social media to avoid interacting with them. You rarely or never have sex. Not only is your relationship lacking emotional intimacy, but you're also lacking physical intimacy. All of these factors can contribute to feelings of loneliness in your marriage. Sometimes this might only affect one person in the relationship, but in many cases, both partners may be left feeling isolated and cut off from their partner. Being alone versus being lonely. Remember that solitude isn't the same thing as loneliness. You can be alone, but not lonely. You can also spend time with your spouse and still feel isolated or emotionally abandoned. Having time to yourself can be good for your mental health, but it is important to know what you can do if you are feeling lonely.